Gram chat. Okay, anyway. All right. So, if you guys are joining us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever, we were trying to find a way to make a side chain for the noise gate on Helix, so that your guitar input, where it's nice and a clean signal, the best signal you can use to trigger a noise gate, tells the gate when to open and everything. It's just like Regate and everything else that we've personally made anyway. And but I'd like to put the gate action itself after the noisiest part of the signal chains, like amplifiers and distortion boxes and stuff. And I thought I found a way to do it, but it looks like the Helix dynamics aren't stereo linked for a sidechain, which is okay. It's just that would do some weird things to delay. So we're just I'm gonna figure out if that's the truth or not. Let me put a link up here. Let me just go to YouTube real quick. If you got any comments, try and type them in Instagram. I'll try and get to them. Let's see. Copy the link. Let's go to YouTube real quick. I'm going to shut YouTube off. I'm going to just want to. I don't put the apostrophe on I'm just to make Glenn mad. That makes me really happy. Who's here? Yeah, see, I can't see. Oh, Psycho Mike. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to see how this works. So the methodology here so far. Okay, I have a snare sound coming out. Here, let me just shut these guys up. Instagram, you might have trouble hearing this, but so I have a snare going on the left side, which is bonkers that this is down here. I'm gonna flip these guys. So Y position, I'm gonna put it 0. Actually, I'm gonna swap X and Y here. Okay, so I have a snare on the left hand side. I have a sine wave. Oh, that's annoying. Sorry. I have a sine wave on the right-hand side. And so you can see this on the scope. So if a dynamic system is stereo linked here, hey everybody, hey Kinley. If you guys are here because you've been watching Lindsay's BMX videos, make sure you're subscribed to his channel. He's going to Dubai tomorrow to represent the USA against all the flatlanders in the world. So, okay, so the way I'm doing this, I'm gonna turn down this sine wave. That's holy crap annoying. If these things are linked, for instance, I have recomp so that the inputs are linked. So I'm just gonna say left input is gonna be the detector input. So that's gonna determine when things are gonna happen with the noise gate. You'll see if I turn it on. See, every time the snare hits, you see how the sine waves get inducted? That way I know these guys are linked. If they were unlinked, can you even do that? Let's see. Main inputs. No, you know what? Recomp is linked no matter what, I think. And if I were to link it off just the right input channel, it's not going to do anything when the snare hits. See that? So it's just staying put. All right. So we know that this is set up correctly and that the scope is reading it right. That's a little bit thing I'm worried about. We're still not seeing great scopes on VST. Let me turn off this AC, sorry. Okay. Wow, that sine wave is just crazy annoying. Okay. So I'm going to add the Helix here, and I'm not really sure how Helix's routing works. And unfortunately, Helix native, and like I know you guys in the forums are going to want to take me down for this, but I'm right and you're wrong, so you can suck it. there's some routing that would be nice to do more in line between Helix native and Helix floor or the hardware Helixes. They're so discombobulated right now. Some of the paths and the all the routing is kind of messed up. You really can't do what you want to do on native compared to the hardware units. And I know it's not always a one-to-one correlation, but we should have a way to deal with this stuff. It'd be nice to unify this stuff more than it is. And yeah, I'd like to see an offline editor for Helix. And if you don't like it, that's whatever. That's on you. Okay, so let's just let's see what we're getting here. So apparently, look at that. Helix has got a stereo input, and it's stereo on the outputs. Now, notice how quiet the snare is compared to the sine wave. I'm going to change that. So I'm going to make sure that the sine wave is who's in charge, or the snare is who's in charge. Okay, now here's something broken right here. Okay, watch this. All right, notice. Actually, this might be a way the meter works. All right, so I'm going to take the sine wave down. I'm turning down the sine wave track, so this is lower. So we're going to make sure that the snare is way the hell louder. So that's what's going to be triggering anything that happens, okay? I'm not sure how well the meter's working here, but let's go to a stereo block. I was going to go to dynamics. I'm going to go to a stereo block, and I'm going to pick the deluxe compressor. Okay, and we can see the gain reductions happening. It's really hard to tell if that sine wave's getting... It is. Okay. Okay, so the compressor is definitely stereo linked. Unless... wait a second. Let's just see if the threshold's not pulling on the sine wave anyway. How can I make this so you can see this better? Let's see. So I want you to be able to see both at the same time. So let's see. Well, I'm having trouble seeing with this phone. Yeah, it'd be nice if Instagram just lets you stream straight from OBS or something and stop being lame about this. It's not like all the e-thoughts aren't using computers to put all this stuff on anyway. So you're not really helping anything by keeping us from doing that. Okay, so let's look at the dynamics here. Oops. Okay, let's see how much we can stretch this. Okay, so I want to see the snare triggering this thing. So I'm going to turn the snare up more. Okay, so the snare's just clanking the input here. So if anything's going to trigger it, it should be the snare. And I'm going to make a super fast attack. So here we go. Make kind of a slow release. That's slow enough. 20 to 1. Really going to hammer this thing. Okay, so definitely. Well, let's turn off the snare real quick. So I'm going to turn off the snare. And see, the compressor's doing nothing, okay? So definitely, at least on the compressor, the compressor is stereo linked here. So in order to make the sidechain, the noise gate's going to have to be stereo linked. So let's check out their noise gate first, which just found out. Okay, this isn't a gate. I need to tell you that. This is some sort of noise reduction thing. It's not just an actual gate. I think it's doing something else, noise suppression, expander, whatever. Now, you see, it's already turning this down. So let me bypass this gate. Oh, it's not. What's going on here? Hold on. Did I turn something down? Oh, I did. Oh, I turned the sign. No, sorry. Well, you know what? I can just zoom this. Hold on, give me a second. Input gain. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to... So you see the gain reduction is up all the way, right? It should go away. Let's decay way down. So I'm going to set the threshold all the way up, so it's going to be active until the... See? This is stereo. Okay, maybe Helix hardware is not linked, because this is definitely stereo linked here. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to call... Oh man, see, this is why this I wish the routing for Helix was available on native. This is interesting because I swear this isn't what is happening. But let's do a test anyway. So we're going to call... Let's put an amp here, something noisy. Okay, so this is distorting everything. So we're going to call the left side the guitar input, and the right side is going to be the snare. Okay. I know this is going to look backwards now. I should do this a different way. But let's just say that A is right, and actually that's not how this is going to work. I need this to split, but I need only the right side to go to here, and I need these guys to pan on the way back out. So let me flip this around. Yeah, now I'm getting confused. Okay, let's do this another way. I'm gonna turn these around. Snares can be on the right. Sine waves can be on the left. So we're gonna call the snare the live guitar input. Oh boy. Okay, sorry. So no, how are we gonna do this? Let me think if there's another way. I may not need that snare to go. Okay. So I'm going to put the noise gate here. I'll put a volume knob or something in the middle here. This isn't exactly how to do it because we can't get the routing the way we want. But I'm going to send the sine wave. Sine wave's going to be the left-hand side. Sine wave is going to go into the amplifier. That's going to be the actual signal. But we're going to use the snare as the trigger signal. And you know, I could do this a different way. Let me try this. Put the noise gate on the second path. I'm going to make the I'm going to have the host as the input. But how do I make a... So only the... That's just as bad. All right, never mind. Let me do it this way. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, the routing. This is not ideal. Okay. Gain. Yeah, sine wave is going to go into the amplifier. Right is only going to be the snare, if I can help it. Yeah, let me just confirm that by listening to it. Oh, this is going to suck. . Okay. I don't know if you can hear that, but only snares coming out on the right, and only gates coming out on the left. So I'm going to put that in the noise gate. Okay, so see, it's not gating. Okay, why am I hearing the sign at all? Shouldn't be hearing the sine wave. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay, let me just see. Oh boy. Yeah. Shoot. Okay, so see, the sine wave doesn't seem to be triggering this at all. Let me just check though there. Oh no, it was a little bit. Okay. Let me sorry, I have to take this call. Oh, what a bummer. Okay, I'll see you guys later on Instagram. Hello? Let me get this back up. Sorry. Try this again. Live. Title. What is this? Testing. Line 6. Helix. Now there's a chance that the hardware works a little bit different than the software. I don't know what that weird flipping was. That was bizarro. Okay, so I want to get this to a level that the check. Oh, that's weird. So the snare's still affecting it. Look at that. I want to get this to a level where the sine wave isn't affecting the gate at all. And I should be able to set a threshold high enough for that. So let me just put this back at around -6, whatever. So if I bypass the gate, there's the sine wave with the amp noise and everything else. Turn it on. Okay. So with the threshold at 0, I don't really think this should be cranking, but maybe it is. Let me try the hard gate instead. I don't trust this thing. Well, actually, never mind. I'm going to stay on this noise gate. Not thrilled that we're not seeing this go all the way down because it's not showing. But let's just bring the snare back up and see if it starts popping the sine wave open. So see, yeah, this is interesting. Hello, Courtney. Hey, Oni boy. Okay. So we're not really getting anything on the O-scope. I'm going to turn up the gain a little bit. There we go. So you know, something's coming through. So this isn't a gate, okay? So you see it's barely going. So I'm going to turn the snare back up, and it should pop that gate open. Okay, so there you go. We would have to get this back to mono somehow. And really we need a mixer because we want to turn down... I don't think there's really any utilities like that, like a mixer or something. I mean, there is for the paths, but that kind of sucks. Is there something that I can turn off one side? Let me just look. I don't think there is, but might be like a delay or something where I could turn down one side. But really the way to do this is the mixer. So let me go to path 2A, and we're going to split it. Okay, so let's just put another gain control or some kind of utility block here. Gain control. So what we need to happen is to get rid of the snare drum sound in here and pan this to the center, which isn't happening. Even though this is panned to the center, this should... Interesting. Okay, hold on. So A level, we just want the sine wave. Okay, why isn't this going mono? I guess I got to throw just a mono effect in here. So let me throw a mono gain control. There we go. So now we got a sidechain noise gate with the stereo input. I'm not convinced that this is going to work with the way that the hardware unit works. Okay, so let's I'm going to switch this for the hard gate here, and let's just see, because that's what I was trying yesterday. Okay, wow, that's annoying. I'm sorry. Okay, so it is working. That's interesting. So now the question is, can I do this with the hardware? Let me... All right, I'm going to bring up Helix Edit, or HX Edit, whatever. I'm just going to check on the hardware real quick. So unfortunately, you're not necessarily going to be able to see this stuff. Just going to copy this. So we got an amp block. Sorry, I'm just so tired lately. Okay, so you can hear the noise here. All right, I'm going to turn down the Reaper one because it doesn't matter for this. I swear I tried this yesterday and this wouldn't work. So but I'm not sure that I'm really thinking of this right. So let me... Just going to copy everything as much as I can. So I'm just doing a mono gain. And the mixer is going to be all the way left and all the way to the right. So, it's funny because when you read in the forums, all these guys are, the naysayers will always tell you, oh, yeah, no, it's totally, it can't work. You don't know what you're talking about. They wouldn't write it for that. But really, the Line 6 guys have given us so many... Hey, Mana. The Line 6 guys have given us so many tools to hang ourselves with. It's like they gave us a box of Legos and told us to build something, which is awesome. So I'm going to make this thing crazy noisy just to prove the point here. Where's the tube screamer? Yeah, there's some noise, okay? I'm not sure. Does the RME have an O scope? Let me see. Function. Vector audio scope. I think it's a goniometer, unfortunately. Channel level meter. Sound audio scope. Totalizer. Yeah, I don't think this is going to help me out. Sorry. But I mean, I can hear it. I can hear the noise. So the next thing is the noise gate. I put a stereo hard gate. This is interesting. So let me look at this threshold settings. So all the way up. This one's more like Regate. It's got an on threshold and an off threshold. In Reaper, you just call it hysteresis, whatever. But okay, and unfortunately, on the HX Edit, you can't see the gain reduction, but we can hear that right now. It's cutting it all off, right? Now, what I want to be the signal to trigger it is going to be the clean guitar signal. So that's what we want to hear triggering the dynamics. And let me just finish this signal path here. So coming up to the noise gate, left and right. And so in this case, we're going to split the guitar off. Half of the guitar signal is going to go through all the amp and everything, and the other half is going to go to become the gate detector signal. Okay, so so this left coming in here is going to be the amp sound, and the right is going to be what we want to trigger the gate. And in order to do that, I'm going to crank the gains up here. I'm probably gonna have to mess with the mixer a little bit, and then in order to sum it back together, we're going to put a mono. Actually, they're both going to be mono. Put a gain on the top here and a gain on the bottom. Now, this isn't ideal, but this should work. Really should be doing this with the sends, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, so I'm turning everything on. And in the case of the other one, what did I do here? Okay. Split them out. Then you know what? I want to bring this back. And what I really want to do is just have the left signal come back. But for now, I want to hear them both. So let me grab a guitar. I got so much stuff to clean up down here. It's not even funny. Here comes a guitar. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the gate for now. Okay, so we're hearing both the clean and the distorted sound, right? Okay. So I want this mono thing to make it so only the whatever I want is coming out, so. Okay. It's going to go two-way. Oh, what is that? Something sounds like it's gating and I don't have a gate. That's interesting. Okay, let me just make sure I got this right. So this signal's coming back. 2A and the center. This should be right. So only one path should be coming through here. Okay, so I'm going to turn on this noise gate, and I want to make it so that it's the, and you can't see this, but I'm looking at the Helix floor, and I can actually see the gain reduction coming on and off when I hit this guitar. So I'm going to bring back in the distorted sound, and I'm going to get rid of the clean sound. Okay, so that's actually working. Now, this should probably be being done with sends. Let me just real quick try this with the noise gate instead. Oh, okay. Okay, so this may be why it wasn't working. The noise gate, the noise gate seems to sum. Maybe the noise gate is mono? No, didn't we have this working on the, hold on, let me just check this again. Okay, this is weird. Okay, the hard gate is working. I'm trying to think of ways I can do this with the send control instead, too, by the way. So if you use a stereo send, you might be able to sum this to mono right here. But let me see what's going on with the regular gate first, because something seems weird. Okay. So it's a stereo. Now, this definitely worked in Helix native. I'm not sure why this... Well, let me make sure. Let's go back here. Pretty sure. Yeah. No, it's worked fine in Helix native. So why isn't it working in HX edit? Actually, is it working? I'm going to shut off the guitar input. I just want this loud enough that it kills the amp noise. And so this is one reason way louder here. So I'm gonna crank up the B level. But if I, oh, sorry, wrong. Okay, that's not ideal. The noise gate is not the thing to use. It'd be the hard gate to use. Let's switch back to that guy. And obviously you'd set this close threshold different. I'm just doing this to make sure I got it working. Let's get some chuggity chug. Put the hold time up a little bit so it's not so goofy. Sorry, I don't know how to gent, but that sounds like it. Now, there's probably a way I could do this with the send instead, and it'd probably be better. I haven't thought of it yet, and but I just wanted to prove that this could be done. I was pretty sure that this was pilot error on my part, and that the Line 6 developers had really figured out a way for us to do this, and that's true. So, awesome. I'm going to save this preset. I'm going to send it. I'm going to put this on the forum, and